Hi everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to those of you who might be new. I'm getting on today to do some reading, and I want to take a look at Texas and Georgia. So Beto O'Rourke is running again for governor against Ted Cruz. So I want to take a look at that. And then also get into some of those Georgia races. On the Republican side, Kemp and Perdue are both going to be trying to see who will, rise to the top to challenge Stacey Abrams. That's for governor. And on the Senate side, we have Rafael Warnock defending his seat, and he, who's he going to go up on the Republican side? So far, people have been talking about Herschel Walker, who's a Trump-backed athlete, I guess, running for Senate. And, everything I hear about him is like, he's a little kind of wackadoodle. Then we have Gary Black, current agriculture commissioner, Latham Sadler, who is a Trumper, I guess. Oh, he was in Trump's National Security Council, so that seems a little sketchy. Going against Raffensperger. And in addition, not Raffensperger, going against Warnock. And Raffensperger, who's a Secretary of State, and we all know Raffensperger's name because he was the one that Trump called trying to find those extra votes to help him win the election. He's coming up as well. So let's take a look at some Texas and Georgia races, shall we? And let's get started with Beto O'Rourke in Texas. All right, so Beto O'Rourke running for governor against Ted Cruz. I tell you, he lost last time against Ted Cruz, and it is beyond me how he could lose to Ted Cruz, because Ted Cruz is, from a Democratic perspective, obviously just a complete slime ball, but Republicans don't even like him. I mean, Republicans in the Senate hate this guy. He's completely unlikable. He's just difficult to watch. I mean, just a slime ball. So, but he won. He won the last time, but since then, obviously that whole thing happened with, winter in Texas when the grid, the grid cracked, and, Beto O'Rourke tried to take off for, not Beto, Ted Cruz tried to, take his family on a vacay while everyone else was freezing their asses off. So that happened, not to mention everything that's going on with the big lie and the whole thing, right? So let's take a look at Beto O'Rourke versus Beto O'Rourke versus Ted Cruz. Beto O'Rourke. I want to know who's going to win. Who's going to win? Oh my God, Texas would be so much better off with Beto O'Rourke. Who is going to win the Texas governor? Okay, I'm sorry, my bad. I keep talking about Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz, and I'm totally wrong. Totally wrong. Ted Cruz is the senator, okay? My bad. Beto O'Rourke would be running against Abbott, right? The current governor. So, Beto O'Rourke is running against Greg Abbott, the current governor. Oh, just almost got off on a tangent with Ted Cruz. Okay, so who is going to win between Beto and Greg Abbott, who has also had his share of issues? Oh my God, the whole trucking fiasco where he just cost the economy all these goods and all this money. The abortion thing. Okay, so Beto, I'm going to do Beto on this side over here, Greg Abbott on this side over here, and let's see how that's going to be looking like. So, Beto O'Rourke versus Greg Abbott in Texas governorship. All right, Beto, come on, show up for us. Okay. All right. And on this side, we're going to have Greg Abbott. Okay, just one sec. Okay, you guys, so for Beto O'Rourke over here on this side, I'm just going to bring you back up here. So we're starting out with the Lovers. So I think this is referring to Beto's sincerity in wanting to be of service to the voters and of Texans. You know, Texas is pretty evenly split. You know, some of us may say that they should have gone Democratic a while ago if it wasn't for some election meddling. But, you know, it's a pretty even split between red and blue in Texas. And I feel like, you know, Beto he just has this sense of him that he just wants to be of service. He wants to make Texans' lives better. He wants to give something better to the state than what they've had. I feel that there's a sincerity here that he wants to bring balance back to the state of Texas, and that he wants to be of service to the people. So I'm getting that his genuine nature, wanting to form partnerships, wanting to bring balance back, and wanting to sort of, you know, evolve the relationship with Texas. His challenge with the Five of Cups, though, is loss. And, you know, he obviously lost his last race. I believe he lost 2 races, right? He ran for governor and lost against, first I feel like he lost a Senate race and a governorship. This might be his 3rd attempt, so he's got some losses behind him. Plus, you know, seeing what the state of Texas has been going through, there's just a lot of emotional turmoil that he's been dealing with in a variety of ways and types of feelings. So he's been suffering from loss. His outcome, though, with the Knight of Cups, again, this is showing us that, you know, he's ideologically driven. He's got a lot of momentum behind him, a lot of conviction behind him. He really wants to go out there and sort of do good, be that victor. I'm not saying he has a hero complex and wants to be a hero, but he has good intentions behind him, and he really wants to serve the people. Get out there and fight, right? Get out there and fight for everyday Texans, for just laws, for equality. Anyone who's heard him talk, just, you know what he's standing for, and he just wants to get out there. He's ideologically driven, and he's ready to fight for the people. Okay, so that is his outcome. On the other side, though, with Greg Abbott, he's starting off with the 4 of Cups. So, you know, obviously he's got a lot of choices here, things that he doesn't like. This shows that, you know, he's been given opportunities or gifts, but he's ignoring them because they're not satisfactory to him. He'd rather just kind of sit there and do nothing than deal with the options that are coming his way. So I feel like he's sort of squatting a bit, settling down, stubborn, not really looking at opportunities or options that are coming his way. His road or the highway, no, 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 until what he wants kind of appears. So there's some stubbornness there, and not wanting to move forward, working with other people, but kind of stubbornly waiting for, you know, his way or the highway. His challenge, here's the King of Wands. So this is telling us, you know, someone who's, just one sec. So someone who's strong and opinionated, forceful, has a lot of power, but this is his challenge. And I think this is really kind of pointing to Greg Abbott, you know, that we know in the governor's seat, that again, he's just, it's my way or the highway. He doesn't really care about his constituents, what their opinions are, what the majority of voters want. He's got these ideas and these plans, and he's going to force them through regardless. So he's not working well with others. All those wonderful qualities of the King of Wands, that the strength, the industriousness, they're all working against him. He's undermining himself. He might be doing, you know, if he's doing things that he thinks he wants to do because he wants to do them, and he's pissing off the voters, you know, that's a challenge to him, that these strengths are his weaknesses, that stubbornness, this sort of the little bit of a tyrant. You know, he's not going to compromise. He's not going to get other people's opinions. He's going to stand strong on his values regardless, and that's a challenge to him. However, for his outcome card, we do have the Six of Wands. So traditionally, this is the victory card. Okay, so traditionally speaking, this read would show the Greg Abbott is the victor here, while they're both fighting for that seat. This is a victor card. Now, I will say that very often this card appears as my January 6th riot card. The Capitol building, Republican red, rolling in to start brawling, fighting. So, you know, the other option there is that something about that whole January 6th debacle can ensnare him. Although I don't, you know, his name hasn't really been floated around as one of the people kind of organizing it or stoking the violence or anything like that. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to fall down on the more traditional side here and say at this time, regardless of Beto's sincerity and ideology and, you know, him wanting to really serve the people, and Greg Abbott kind of being stubborn and a little dictatorial, so far it looks like he's got the edge. This reading is calling him the victor. Unfortunately for me, and really for Texas, I think. But we'll definitely read that again as we get closer to the midterms. So let's move on to Rafael Warnock. So, you know, he was just recently elected to that seat, but it was to fill the remainder of the previous person's term. So that's why he hasn't been in there a full term, and he's up for re-election already. So it seems like his toughest challenger is Herschel Walker, who I guess is kind of making some weird comments, crazy talk. He's a Trumpster, which how an African-American can be a Trumpster absolutely is beyond me. I just don't get that. But, you know, people are people, and if people like that sort of brutal, you know, anything to win, I don't know, whatever Trump is. Some people, I guess, just kind of like that, like those qualities. You know, people who follow dictators. There's been a lot of discussion about that. Anyways, Herschel Walker, Rafael Warnock. Herschel Walker for Senate, Rafael Warnock, Georgia Senate. Georgia. Who is going to win that seat? All right, some little shuffling here. Hopefully we'll have some better news from Mr. Warnock, the good Reverend Warnock. Okay, so I'm going to do the same. Warnock on this side, Herschel Walker on that side. Interesting. Interesting. And Herschel Walker. Okay, so for the good Reverend, we're starting off, again, boom, here's the King of Wands. So this is how he's presenting. So he is a hard worker, very strong, has a lot of power behind him, clear thinking, clear mind, you know, a go-to attitude, pragmatic, a lot of willpower, right? A lot of momentum behind him. So he's coming in full strength. He's coming in with, you know, as the King of the Wands here. Yeah, he's at full strength. He's got all his resources there. He's in his stride. He's feeling confident. It's a great card to start out with for the good Reverend. His challenge is the Six of Wands, so the victory card. So, okay, yes, I mean, that's pretty clear. His challenge is that he wants to be victorious. He's in a race. He doesn't know if he's going to win. He's worried about it. He's concerned about it. Maybe he feels vulnerable. Maybe he's concerned with shenanigans. But, you know, this is on his mind. No surprise. His outcome with the Knight of Swords is, this is our hero on a white horse. You know, this is that hero who comes in to rescue us and to heal us and to fight for democracy and fight for the highest good. Love that democratic blue and that eagle. It's all about fighting for democracy for me. So that is his outcome. I see that he's going to come riding in on that white steed to the rescue, fighting for democracy. All right, love that as an ending card for Rafael Warnock. Moving on over here to Herschel Walker. Trump picked a Republican challenger. Starting off here, the Four of Pentacles. So this is the collecting the money. It's the war chest, right? It's the funneling GOP money into this guy. So he's going to be well funded. They're just pouring money into it. GOP candidate. His challenge is the Three of Pentacles. So the challenge is that, you know, I'm guessing there's probably not a lot of other GOPers who really like this guy. They may not respect him or think he's a serious candidate because he's not getting the cooperation that he's looking for. This is his challenge, working with others, being supported, crafting something together with others. You know, when you're doing something big and important, you have a skill set to bring and you need to have others contribute to that work, bring in their expertise and their skill sets, and together you build something that's greater than all of you, right? He doesn't have anybody showing up to help him with that. So I'm guessing that within his own ranks, he might be getting the cold shoulder, maybe, like I said, not well respected. He seems a little kooky. His outcome, though, is strength. Strength. So, okay, he might show up stronger than expected. You know, the strength card, the form of strength that this card talks about is more of a gentle strength, that you have the confidence, you know you have the skills, you don't have to make a big show. You just show up quietly and stoically, patiently, and it's that kind of strength that this card is referring to. So, there is a show of strength here, but that might just be, you know, grace under defeat sort of thing. Between the strength card and Warnock's Knight of Swords, I would say this card is the stronger victory card. And, you know, the strength card, yes, it does show strength. And, you know, maybe this is something that Herschel Walker does have, being a former athlete. I really don't know, but it doesn't seem like he's got what it takes to overcome Rafael Warnock here. Because, yeah, he might be well-funded, he might be getting some money, but he's not getting the support and cooperation that he needs from his party to really pull this through. So that's what I'm getting on this one. I'm going to call it for Warnock. All right, and okay, so Georgia. So we know the lovely Stacey Abrams is going to be representing the Democrats for governor. In the Republican side, though, so Kemp versus Perdue. Kemp is, you know, the incumbent, and Perdue is the Trump-backed former senator challenging Kemp. And I guess everyone's saying that Perdue's fallen behind. Kemp's the likely winner there. So let's take a quick look at them, and then we'll run it against Stacey Abrams. So Kemp and Perdue. Kemp and Perdue. So Kemp on this side, Perdue on this side. Kemp versus Perdue. So Kemp would be the one that people think cheated and got his victory over Stacey Abrams in the last Georgia election through cheating, voter suppression, right? So that's his game. Voter suppression is his thing. Perdue, former senator, Trump-backed. That says it all right there. All right, Kemp versus Perdue. Show us who's going to win. All right, let's bring it down for the spread. Kemp and Perdue. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so for Kemp, we're starting off here with the Queen of Wands. So he's got a lot of ideas. He's got a lot of work that he wants to do. He's not afraid of hard work. But the downside of this card is ego. So he has a big ego that he needs to keep in check in order to keep his reputation, in order to work well with others. So he's got a big ego. I'm reading some reverse on this card too. So yes, he wants to get to work. Yes, he has ideas. Maybe ideas you agree with, maybe you don't. But he's got a big head. He's got a big ego, and that's what he is. That's what he does. His challenge with the Sun, he's worried. Because this is about hope and optimism. This is his challenge. He's feeling vulnerable. This challenge by Trump-backed Perdue, might have really shaken him, especially after all the accusations of cheating, cheating Stacey Abrams out of the governorship. So between that and Perdue and Trump, and Trump's on this guy's ass now, right? He's on Trump's shit list. So yeah, I think he's feeling vulnerable, nervous, not quite as confident as he's used to. And, again, with the World card, the Sun card, never mind that then. So yeah, I think he's feeling the heat, all eyes are on him. There's some disclosures going on. So maybe, he's worried. This is a challenge. So he might be concerned that we're going to find out some things that he's trying to keep hidden in the dark. There might be some exposure that he's concerned with as well. But yeah, he's not feeling great inside. He's feeling vulnerable in this race. His outcome with the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, he's ready to do some, maybe some shady finances. Maybe taking some bad money. Maybe kicking some kickbacks, right? This is kind of that shady financial transactions, that sort of give and take, bribes, kickbacks, shuffling money around, doing something uneven and underhanded to get his way here. So that is his outcome. So, that maybe that's just where it ends for him. He tries to kind of buy his way in, or, pad some pockets or whatever, but that's kind of where it's leaving off on his side. As far as Perdue, he's starting off with the Empress, which is, would tell me that he's feeling confident, he's feeling great, he's got all the resources that he needs, all the money, everything that he could possibly need, he's feeling flush, he's feeling good. Yeah, so I think he's feeling good about himself. His challenge is the Ace of Pentacles. So conversely, money is his challenge. And, this card also talks about a big opportunity, you know, like a big job proposal, right? A big undertaking, a big opportunity. And this is his challenge. So he's going to lose an opportunity. Something's going to slip through his fingers, or the money he was hoping for isn't going to appear. I feel like maybe a lot of people, Trump might be promising a lot of money and it just doesn't show. So the challenge here is a lost opportunity of some kind, a lost resource. His outcome is the Fool. Here he is, the Fool. So, you know, the Fool wants to start off on a journey, and they've got all the enthusiasm that they could have. You know, they're ready for this new adventure. And, you know, if they're not careful, they drop right off a cliff, right? So, you know, it can also just mean someone who's foolish. So between these two, Kemp and Perdue, so we know Perdue is kind of lagging behind. We know Kemp is the front runner here. So let me see. I don't feel like I'm getting an over indication on which one might be the victor here. I know that Kemp's not feeling as good as Perdue's feeling. Perdue's feeling optimistic, probably because he has Trump's endorsement. But something's going to fall through for him here. And in the end, he's looking like a fool. And, you know, Kemp's always got this money maneuvering working for him here. I'm just going to pull one clarifier to see what we can find. Okay, so my clarifier for Kemp is the Knight of Cups. He's out there fighting the good fight, ideologically driven. He's out there battling, trying to win it. And here is Perdue, loss. So sad. So in this case, with these cards, I will give it to Kemp. Okay, so in that case, let's look at Kemp and Stacy Abrams. Is he going to be able to cheat her out of the governorship again? She has been doing so much work trying to increase the voter rolls, fight against Kemp's voter suppression. He's purging the rolls illegally. Just trying to get that African-American vote, which is so important in Georgia. I mean, Georgia is such a heavy African-American state. And the fact that they've just carved out these voting districts where they just don't have the voting power they should. And, you know, just conservatives just keep winning this state over and over and over, and they're just not serving their constituents. Okay. Let me stop blabbing and get to Kemp versus Stacy Abrams. So I'm going to do Kemp on this side, Stacy Abrams on that side. Kemp versus Stacy Abrams. So let's see. Now, I feel like she hasn't really been in the news, you know, in front of our faces as much as we're used to. But I do think the reason is because she's working. You know, she's out there in Georgia pounding the pavement, drumming up those voters, registering voters, you know, getting it done, laying that foundation that she needs to really win this thing, because Kemp plays dirty, right? Kemp versus Abrams. Spirit, show us who's going to win this thing. All right. Bring it down for the spread. Kemp. Stacy. Oof. All right. Oh my goodness. So for Kemp over here, So we're starting off with the moon. So some emotional volatility. Again, there's things in the darkness that we don't know about. There's some secret agendas. There might be some irrational thinking. Just some turbulent emotions. It's a call to rebalance yourself, try and get some clarity and renew, to heal. You know, so that's kind of what's showing for Kemp. I would just say again, you know, the last reading shows that he's a little bit insecure. He might be just dealing with feelings and emotions and thoughts that aren't really healthy and helpful to him. And again, with that money that we saw in that last round, there might be some hidden agenda, some shady shenanigans going on here. His challenge with the Nine of Cups is support and I'll bring this back up. Finance, well, not support, ideological support. So, you know, this is that sort of flush retirement where, you know, you've worked the end of your, okay, so retirement, that is his challenge. He doesn't want to retire. He doesn't want to be put out to pasture. He wants to keep working. He wants to keep his seat, right? So he's facing his retirement. He doesn't like it. His ending result here with the Seven of Wands is he, you know, defending himself, trying to block Stacey Abrams from taking his seat. So he's in a self-defensive posture, trying to prevent entry of someone else. Yeah, just like I said, I think he's trying to keep the challengers at bay right now because we haven't gone through that primary. That's still right now are, you know, the GOPers challengers to him, but it will be Stacey at some point. Yeah, he's just trying to maintain what he has so far, self-defense, and yeah, trying to block others from his seat, okay? So for Stacey, ouch, we got the devil showing up for her. So what does that mean for Stacey? So, I'm not sure how to read that. So, you know, showing up for her, she's not really dealing with sort of addiction issues, or she's not enslaved to anybody that I know of, anything like that. This can certainly be all the dirty dealings that have been waged against her. You know, she's coming to this having already, say to her, been cheated out of the governorship once. And this whole thing with Trump and this election lie, the racism that's going on in Georgia. There just might be a lot of sort of evil intent and bad actors arrayed against her that she's dealing with. And that's just how she's showing up right now in this read, is she's staring evil in the face. Okay, that's what I'm getting here. Staring evil in the face. Her challenge is the Lovers. So her challenge is forming partnerships, forming healthy, well-balanced partnerships. That's a challenge for her. And I think that's right. Like I said a minute ago, you know, Kemp in Georgia has really been messing with the voter rolls, illegally purging voters off of rolls, redistricting, just, you know, trying to exclude votes. Just the whole 9 yards is going on over there. So that's going to make it really difficult for Stacy Abrams to find, you know, to have a balanced relationship with the voters in Georgia. You know, they can vote for her all they want, but if the game is rigged, you know, it's imbalanced. So that is her challenge, that instead of having well-balanced relationship with either the voters or with her opponent, because she's facing so much evil here, everything's imbalanced. There's, you know, her opponent might be cheating against her. The voters she needs to rely on might be purged off the rolls. There's just there's not a good relationship there that's helping her. This imbalance is harming her. Her end card with the Queen of Swords. It's a really good ending card for her. This shows she is brilliant. She's got a very logical, practical, forceful mind. She's got truth, justice on her side. She's not afraid to wield those to support herself. You know, she's got no patience for morons. You know, she's got no time for lies. She's not going to be mincing her words. She's not going to be, you know, she's not going to be anything less than her strongest, smartest, most articulate, most powerful version. She has got a lot of gifts, and she's strong as hell, smart as hell. She believes in truth and justice, and she's showing up as the queen at the end of this reading. So I think that, you know, yeah, she's facing some underhanded shenanigans again this time. I think this is telling us that there are forces who are very intentionally, working against her. You know, this evil work. So that what tells us it's underhanded. It's breaking the law. It's, the sort of lying to voters. Just, you know, it's not a fair fight. This is not a fair fight. Again, unfair fight. This is what she's facing. That's her challenge again, this imbalance. But yeah, she's just got so many gifts. I feel like she's still coming out ahead because why? Kemp is over here still trying to protect himself, keep her out, keep her excluded. So he's relying on voter suppression, and she's relying on her natural gifts here. So I'm going to just pull one clarifier at the bottom, just to make sure I'm on the right track. Well, the clarifier I'm getting for Kemp is the Emperor. So that's that sort of totalitarian, my way or the highway. The Emperor, I'm reading the reverse of this card here because Kemp is a cheater and he's a liar. So he's going to do whatever he needs to do to try and maintain his grip on power. For Stacy Abrams, we've got a Five of Wands, which is a lot of fighting, a lot of intellectual sort of ideological fighting here. So could be infighting. So yeah, we know that the ideological fighting is, again, that's voter suppression, voter fraud, trying to carve those voters out of districts, trying to drop these people off of the roll, trying to take people who disagree with you and undermine them, right? You're fighting against them. So she's got a dirty fight on her hands. That's her main problem. She's strong, she's smart. The state could use someone like her in power, but she's facing a dirty campaign again. They're just cheating, it's undermining, it's fighting. And the more powerful you are, the harder they have to fight against you. Again, on the GOP side here, it's just about, what can you do to keep your grip on power? Fending off rivals, trying to keep your seat, trying to keep that grip on power. The challenge here, though, is, you're losing resources, but you're kind of losing ideologically, too. Those cups are about the heart, right? Ideas, feelings. And the challenge there is, instead of being ideologically giving and inclusive. They're divisive and not willing to include all the voices that need to be represented in Georgia. And yeah, again, underhanded. So who's going to win though? I'm still gonna fall down on Stacy. Maybe it's just my, you know, my personal wishes kind of going in there, but with the defensive posture here and full strength going there, I want to call it for Stacy. So that's what I'm gonna do. But again, we'll read this closer to the midterms, So I'm at 40 minutes. I'm going to leave that there today. Thank you all for coming to my channel and visiting me. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, you know, click like down there. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll see you all in a few more days. Take care. Bye, everybody.